My son made some cookies the other day, and they were better than any cookies he's ever made. He's been making them weekly, and all of them taste great, but there was one batch that was especially good. And I told him, "What is it? What did you do?" And he said, "You know, the recipe's the same, the ingredients are different." He says, "Better ingredients. That's why it's a better cookie. It tastes better." And the same thing applies to almost everything you do, whether you're looking at clothes or buildings or whatever. Same with security screens. The devil's in the details. And usually it's the ingredients, whether it's the product itself or the install. The thing to start with is the mesh. Not all mesh is equal. Our mesh we fabricate in the United States. We have a mesh density of 12 by 12 per square inch. This is a really important thing. You can get 10 by 10 mesh. The 12 by 12 mesh per square inch is 75% stronger. And that's important, right? We're all about security. So if we can go with something stronger and better, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Because we manufacture it in the United States, has a much cleaner finish. Mesh that we can get from places like China, for example, many times we'll have tiger striping in it, or the mesh will be a little bit warped, or the weave here sometimes gets stuck and knotted. All things being equal, we get a higher quality product by manufacturing it in the United States, but it does cost more, 3 times more. Again, it's one of those decisions that we make wanting to provide top tier security. We'd rather give the client the choice of something that's best, make it work within their budget, than go with something cheap and then regret at some point down the road. So starting with the mesh, that's number one. Make sure it's 12 by 12 per square inch, and make sure it's made in the United States, right? Might be more expensive, but it's gonna look much more beautiful. This is the window, and I wish you could hold it up there as a viewer. It is very heavy. It's heavy for a reason. The mesh is heavy on its own, right? Stainless steel. The aluminum has its own heft and weight to it, but inside this design, we also have steel tubing for reinforcement. And all together, this thing right here is probably close to 20 pounds. Now, this is a small window. You can imagine a window is 4 or 5 times this, is quite heavy. When we mount this screen on the side of the home, it's one thing to have a strong security screen, but you also want to have a strong install. You can see we've started to drill these holes here, but these screws go in every 8 inches around the perimeter. Some companies will just put screws in the corners and cover it up and you wouldn't know. That's a real important point, is to be sure that you're getting a super strong screen to begin with, and that it's being installed in the correct way. So screws every 8 inches. This lock here is a new locking mechanism for us. It's just like a bank vault. Let me show it this way. Instead of a pin here and a pin here on the older models, we now have this locking mechanism, which is like a bank vault. So the diameter of these is much bigger and gives it much more strength. It's a gravity operated lock, so anyone at any time can get out in the event of an emergency. The hinge here is the same hinge that we use on the swing doors. It will support the weight of this, we call this a sash, right? This is very heavy, as I mentioned. When you open it like this, it'll start to torque the hinge. And older models had a weaker hinge. This is a much stronger one, so it'll support the weight of that sash when you open it. Visibility out is awesome. You should be able to see me quite well. I can see you very well. Airflow is awesome. And of course, it'll keep the bugs out. What we want at the end of the day, whether it's a window or a door or a slider, we want to fortify your home without making it look like a fortress. We want the solution to be pleasing. It has to be congruent with the color palette of the home. It has to look great on the home. It has to give us all the security we need and deserve, of course, but we want it to look awesome. And so Because we work with aluminum, because this is an aluminum structure, we can give it a shape unlike if we use steel. Everything's powder coated, we don't have any corrosion, we don't have any rust, and it feels good to the touch. It's very smooth. The mesh here is also powder coated, and unlike a solar screen has a bit of friction to it, so it ends up collecting a bunch of dust. This powder coated mesh here is nice and smooth to the touch. It doesn't collect a lot of dust. It doesn't get dirty as quickly over time. Our swing doors have a 3-point lock mechanism. So you can buy one of these production security doors from big box boys, and the common breach is to take a crowbar and force that male piece out of receiving end, and you just open the door. So with a 3-point locking mechanism, you're able to engage that door at 3 different points, high, mid, and low, to prevent anyone from forcing their way in. On the sliders, we have an advanced steel rocker wheel system. Competitors will use a plastic wheel like this. Its lifespan is less, it's not going to last as long, and the operation is rougher. With the metal rocker wheels, we get a nice smooth operation, and the lifespan on these is much longer. Just easily operated. I'm using my pinky, right? So it's almost like it has a mind of its own, right? It knows where it's supposed to go. That's how smooth it is. It's a big differentiator. On our sliders, we have a 4-point locking system that prevents someone from trying to pry their way in. So a lock at the top, 2 in the middle, and 1 at the bottom. You just turn the thumb lock, all 4 locks engage at the same time. It really is the ingredients when it comes to security. You want the best that you can afford. And I would add, it's also the way of manufacturing, right? So you want the best components that you can get, and you want to be sure that they're assembled and installed in the best, most secure way possible. Don't try to save a nickel when it comes to security. Take your time, be sure you know what you're getting, and be sure it's done right, because there'll come a moment when you're going to really need that security to perform, and you're going to be glad that you did take that time. So give us a call. We'll help work within your budget to give you the solution that you need, and we can break your project into phases. You don't have to do everything in one swoop, but do get started today. Don't procrastinate on this thing. Believe me, I've heard all the stories. You want to take action right here, right now. Just give us a call, and we're happy to help.